Yeah, so I think we're good to go.
Boom.
We're ready.
Ready
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Adrian, take your seats, take your position.
Boom.
Sit down.
Do you need one? Have you had one yet?
Yeah, I had a wee, yeah.
You sure?
All sorted.
Positive.
View, Conor.
My mum told me to have one.
I've had one, mate, yeah. We're good to go now. We're ready.
Happy days.
Hopefully no intruders
Have you locked the door?
today. We're locked, I think, yeah. We're good to go.
Stuff, yeah,
We're
yeah.
ready. Ready to start. First episode.
Yeah.
Number one.
You're here for the first ever episode of Unfiltered.
You know you're going to seriously test my knowledge on rugby league. I've probably not I've not been involved in rugby for about 5 years now.
It's a lie. It's a lie. No, shall we kickstart? We'll get into it.
Get into it.
Ready to go. Welcome to Unfiltered Rugby League. We're joined today by
Seamus.
Mr. Seamus, myself, Conor, and our great rugby league friend,
Lewis Fletcher. Yeah.
Lewis Fletcher, solely responsible for the recent Jake Wardle's Ashes series achievements.
That's it. Some say I am the man that made Jake Wardle the player he is today. Probably can't even remember me, to be fair. But yeah, we have a bit of a laugh and joke. Obviously down at Nova. I was in the academy at Huddersfield Giants. Well, I say the academy, it was more the scholarship at Huddersfield Giants when I was younger. And I was playing wing at the time, and Jake was in the centre, and he was always a really, really good player. He must have set me up for no end of tries, but we have a bit of a laugh and a joke down here.
Say, were it not made up, this story?
Yeah, because I was playing with him at the time, that the rumour started that I made him the man he is today, and I'll happily.
And it's true. So
I'll happily take that.
Whatever you see and whatever you hear today is 100% true.
100% true.
100% truth and opinion.
Yeah.
That's it.
So them big hits and big tackles
own.
that you were putting in against the Aussies.
I say they were all down to you,
weren't
they?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why you're here today.
Yeah.
With us for our first episode, and we're going to bring to you all the latest rugby league as it happens and discuss it and give our opinions on it. And yeah, we're going to kickstart the season with hopefully a bang. It's a new year, so we're going to finish 2025 with a first episode discussion on all the ins and outs for all the Super League teams, and yeah, bring a bit of discussion and see what we each think about each club and how they're going to fare this season. We might even drop in some opinions on kits as well.
So just to remind me, you've got Toulouse coming up, haven't you, from the Championship? We've got Bradford Bulls,
Yep.
and York. They're the three teams that are going up, and then no one's gone down, have they, this year? Salford, obviously.
Obviously
Salford.
not. Yeah, due to.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Salford. No, but
in all
seriousness,
come back.
In all seriousness, that's a massive loss, isn't it, to rugby league?
They had a pretty big fan base.
You've got Salford now that have obviously entered liquidation, and more recently as well, Featherstone Rovers that have just announced that they've gone into administration. So
it's not looking good, is it? They've pulled out of is it Boxing Day? They play Cass. They pulled out of that, haven't they?
Have they pulled
Obvious
out?
reasons. Yeah, that's done now.
Well.
So yeah, it's not looking good, is it, for Fev? I don't know who's still left in terms of players and things like that, but I think Paul Cook's come out and said, they will more than likely have a team there to sort of be a part of the start of the season, but what will that team look like? They're not sure at the minute. So yeah, hopefully things change, and because at one point they were sort of fighting it out at the top, weren't far off getting a promotion when they played Toronto a few years back. So yeah, they've had some good teams over the years as well, so it's a shame to see them.
They've always been there or thereabouts, Featherstone. I remember you look back over the years, they've always been competing at the top of the Championship, and they just must, for whatever reason, not been able to get the revenue or the money into the club.
Probably money.
So it's a bit of a shame.
That's the thing. I think money has been put into them over years as well, and they've just, whether it's how it's spent or look what do we know, I suppose, but how it's spent, and it makes you wonder some of these signings in the past.
Yeah.
And the amount of money what were probably spent on some of these, especially not just the Aussies that are coming over, but some of these guys that are coming over on. You dread to think, big money to play in Championship, and it was sort of a bit of a it's or bust, wasn't it, really? And sort of, I think it backfired, really. And hopefully, fingers crossed, they get it sorted and they get themselves a team sorted for the new season. But you just feel for players and families and stuff, don't you, as well? And obviously the fans, but the players and the families, hopefully they manage to get sorted out. And I think it's best where I reckon we'll start the discussion today with Leeds. A decent turnout. Brad Arthur, he's signed a new contract. He's staying. A lot of good news coming from them. Probably a poor end to the season, all in all. They probably didn't expect to lose that game to Saints. In probably something we might never see again. Something like that, or it might take another 25 years for something like that to turn up. But wow, what an ending to that game that was. But probably a poor end to the season, all in all, for Leeds. I think people expected them to get to that semi-final, and they were sort of fell at the last hurdle. Well, fell at not the last hurdle.
Second to last
hurdle. Jake Conor, 3-year deal.
3-year deal.
What do you think to that?
I'll let Shay put his thoughts and opinions on that one to start with. I think.
How old is he now? Is he
got
gone 30?
Got 30, surely.
And it's a good signing. He's obviously were well last season. Obviously, one man of steel. I just think with Brad Arthur's been the only coach to get something proper out of him for a full season, a full season of consistency. I can't see Brad Arthur staying another year after this year. I think they did all they could to keep him for this year. I think he will have another good season under Brad Arthur.
Can he go better than last year's? Man of Steel, don't forget. Can he go?
My thoughts and opinions behind this is he's been left out of the England squad, hasn't he, originally? Yeah. And you look now, we've got the World Cup coming up. He's going to want to make an impression to Sean Wayne, if he's still there. He's going to want to make an even more
Which is another discussion in itself.
Yeah, and he's going to want to make a big impression. And I think signing him up for another 3 years, giving him that run into the World Cup, I think he'll...
I think he's always needed a good team around him, and I think he's finally got it. I feel like when he went to Hull at first, obviously he played centres, didn't he? At Hull.
I think he's never really found that position, has he? Until sort of now he's had. To be fair, at Hull, he had a couple of these years, didn't he? Obviously, Challenger Cup appearances and all the rest of it.
He did play in halves at Hull. I think he's always needed a better team around it. There's that Scott Griggs came out and said in another podcast or an interview about Jake Conor, where he said Jake Conor. Apparently said to him, like, if I get to Leeds, I'll win Man of Steel, which is obviously he's gone there and done it. So maybe for whatever reason he's had that team around him this year. Brad Arthur seems to just not change him altogether, because he's always had that flair and he's always had that.
And I think that probably at the start of the season did him well. He came out, didn't he, and said that he'd sort of been held back, said he wasn't ready, he wasn't fitting off at the start of the season.
He did get squad.
Did he get 18 shirt? Be interesting. Has he got a squad number for this year? Has he been given a starting shirt?
Leeds hasn't been released as of yet, but I think he's going to be the banker to get the 7 shirt in here alongside Brodie Croft at 6.
That's likely. I mean, them two. Brodie Croft, big money.
Yeah, big signing.
This is third season. This is third season.
I'd probably expect a little bit more from him, to be honest.
Yeah, you'd think so.
I don't think he's not gone bad. He's not been like, I haven't looked at him and thought he's been a bad signing. But obviously, he won Man of Steel at Salford, didn't he? They paid money to get him over to Leeds.
Big
and
money,
I don't think. To be fair, they did struggle in his first year there, though, didn't they? So, and obviously, because Jake Conor stood out so much last year, maybe he went a little bit under the radar. Because I don't think he's necessarily performed bad, just maybe not what we got that season.
Maybe just outshone, like you say. Conor, he's had a stellar season, hasn't he? Which I suppose leads us nicely on some other news. Harry Newman going next year, Perth Bears, and will that be the start as well of a sort of a mass exodus of English talent out to the NRL?
100%.
Who are Perth Bears going to be getting hold of? Obviously the Dolphins Done a little bit similar. Canberra have done it in the past. Gone for that English talent. Perth Bears likely to do the same. Harry Newman starting that off, and who's next? They've taken Catalan players before they've even played a game this year for him.
That worries me for Catalan, which we'll touch on obviously when we get to Catalan. But yeah,
what do you think then? Harry Newman, is it?
It's good. It's good for Harry Newman. It's obviously he's always been open with the fact that he wanted to maybe give it a shot, and so
he's aggressive.
Yeah.
Probably suit his game. I mean, there's some big centres over there, big strike centres as well.
Yeah. I always get from players over here. When you watch players, I always get one way. You look at a player like he loves rugby. Like he loves playing rugby, and I always feel like you get that with Harry Newman when you watch him play. So I'm interested to see how he'll get on. I think he
went well, didn't he? He got that last game, didn't he, for the Ashes?
Yeah.
The Ashes series went well. He wasn't really out of place, was he? In fairness,
no.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he goes. But he's got a year to do at Leeds. Fair play, Leeds announcing that
I think that's
before
best.
the season starts, rather
best,
than it linger on and rumours and things. So yeah, fair play to them. And it looks like they, on the back of that, have announced Max Simpson, a young lad. He's been given a new contract as well. It'd be interesting to see sort of how much game time he gets this year.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him not maybe go for an overseas or maybe recruit what recruiters sent. Obviously, like I say, when he first came through, Max Simpson made his debut and things like that. Obviously, he's just been hampered with injuries, hasn't he? But he's looked good. So fingers crossed.
I think he's been killing it in pre-season as well by the sounds of it. And then I suppose lastly, just Danny Levi, just touching on him. Obviously, he's been over here.
But I really liked him at Giants.
Yeah, been over before.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, really good at Giants. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with Jared O'Connor, whether Jared O'Connor gets the 9 shirt or not. But I think Danny Levi will get the 9 shirt, and Jared O'Connor will keep the 40.
He was a massive loss from Huddersfield, and I think we felt that quite heavily being an Huddersfield fan.
What did he leave? Were that out to do with?
I think it were somewhat along those lines. Yeah. I can't actually remember.
Just makes you think that obviously he's been back, comes back.
Yeah, it's always a worry, isn't it?
It's a couple of year deal, isn't it? And I don't know, they might have someone in pipeline maybe.
I think sometimes when they come over, when they're a little bit younger, though, aren't they? They're quite eager to go back. So I'm not saying obviously he wasn't struggling with it. Obviously, like I say, missing family and whatnot. But obviously, it seems like Canberra were interested, and maybe he definitely didn't push his way out of Giants. Who were I know at the time it was definitely mutual consent and things like that. But maybe we're just a little bit more eager to go back as well, hearing the interest from Canberra.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
But looking forward to seeing him play.
He'll definitely go well at Leeds, though.
Yeah,
he'll slot in fine at Leeds.
Yeah.
He'll be really good.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Like I say, experienced Ed. He's got to come and bring some quality on it. Maybe it's what they're missing. But yeah, it's another year in it for Leeds. You like to think they build on last year. They've got to be looking for them that top 4 spot, and then maybe beyond that, maybe a good Challenge Cup run. Obviously, 100%. All teams will say the same thing, don't they? But you've got to think for them quality. They've got Brad Arthur. It's another year contract. Is it a year contract he's done?
Yeah, just 1 year. Yeah. I think that'll be. They did really well. It were heavily reported by other. Which
people. It makes you think, doesn't it, as well? Suppose moving nicely on, we're touching on Brad Arthur, Jake Arthur going over to Hull. His son, he's made no secret of wanting to sort of see how they go over in NRL. He's over here, doesn't get to obviously experience that, does he? He's, over there playing well, getting games, and he's come over here to FC. A big signing for them, really. Where's that leave sort of Hull FC this year? Another player in the halves. Does it mean, has Will Price got that one spot cemented for him? I mean, it was exciting him coming back last year as well. Yeah. What does it look like for LFC? Because I think all in all, they had a decent season. I know they sort of just missed out, but
I think they'll be top
a decent
6
year.
This year. I think they'll get top 6. I think if they keep Will Price fit.
That was going to be one of my questions. How's Will Price been with injuries and things like that? Is he going to be able to stay fit?
He's had that problem with the foot, hasn't he? So I think once he gets over that and gets through that, which might sounds, I'm sure I've seen a clip that he's back in like full pre-season now. So I think if you get him firing, he's got a lot of strike out the back, pace.
It's just class, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sheer class.
I genuinely think if he needs to, I reckon it'll be in the back of his mind anyway. But I think he'll be back in. If he has a good year this year, he could go because he can also play half as well. And I think he could potentially be in that World Cup squad. He's been picked for England before. Obviously, through injury, he didn't get to make his debut, but
he's just got that excitement, and like the players that come and deliver, they've just got his footwork, magic. You know what he can do, what he can play. Is he that organising sort of player? I know sometimes he dropped into six and stuff last year as well, but like he's made no secret, has he? Like, you want the most talented or the best sort of growing up. It's dropped out of scholarships and things, been given trials here. Yeah. And he went out, and fair play to him. He's gone out to NRL, come back, young lad still, very young lad, and I'd be excited at,
I think he dealt with that when he went to Newcastle. I think he dealt with that. I think we're on another podcast, Ronan Michaels. Yeah. What's the message?
Great podcast.
Yeah, and they run about it when they said, I think he spoke to Barry McDermott and said what do I have to do to get into the squad, and Barry McDermott was just, you're not fit enough. And I think to respond to that,
McDermott with Newcastle.
To respond to that, I think quite well, because you've gone over there, and to be fair, he went over on like a decent ward, like he won. So the reports say anyway. I don't.
You were doing well, wasn't it? I just feel he was so young at the time, weren't he?
Yeah, young,
coming through, and
I'd like to see him go back and have another. He's on 3. He's got 2 more years left at Hull.
I mean, you must have been disappointed when you seen him leave Huddersfield at the time.
He's another one of those players that you mentioned earlier, Shay, that play like they've got no consequences if they make an error. They don't. He's one of them players that doesn't care if he makes a mistake, or he's got that pace, he's got that raw talent, and those are the most exciting players. You kind of top draw players. You like Jake Conor and people like that. They're the ones that can change a game on a sixpence, and turn a game round and make a try out of nowhere. And they're the most exciting kind of players. But with that there is that chance of maybe an error or an head loss at times that happens. But I say you got to take them as they come. The offset of the magic, if you like. It's worth it.
You expect them, Well, I suppose they've made a couple of other signings. A couple of the Saints boys, Batchelor and James Bell. I don't know if there's any truth in it, but there were some reports sort of coming out that Bell's been injured in pre-season, which would be a hammer blow, really. I think he'd had something a bit different to Hull. Just that bit of sort of flexibility in different positions, great cover player, and probably a good loose forward in his own right as well, back rower.
Very good. It'd be interesting to see where he plays with John Asiata.
Yeah.
So I think John Asiata does start 13.
Yeah. And obviously he's coming off the back of a big injury as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is he going to be fit to start the season? Yeah. I know he's been documenting sort of his journey back and his recovery back to. They've got a good team, haven't they?
They've got a lot of depth this year. They've got a lot of depth this year, and I think that's why they'll get top 6. They've got a lot of players that can play numerous positions. I think having Zach Hardaker, which I'm not sure how old he is now, but he just seems like he's going to go on forever.
Yeah, great.
And like he was one of their standouts last year, and it just seems like he's just going to keep going and going and going until he can't physically go no more. But you look at the players that haven't even got a squad number like Briscoe and players like that can quite happily come in and do a job.
Go in some of the other teams as a
and they'll quite happily come in a job, and it'll just seem sort of seamless, like they're not even missing that.
A few of the local Hull boys as well, obviously the lads like Lewis Martin coming back in towards. He had a great season last year. Probably unlucky really not to. I know he got nominated for a young player, but quite unlucky really. Mark tries he scored. He's killer, isn't he, on the wing really. So
David Litton's got given 3 shirt as well.
So they've got that. They're getting that Hull spirit, if you like, that culture which. Probably they've missed, haven't they? I know they've had Islanders and stuff in the past, and you've got to have that mixture, haven't you, of players.
I think they recruited badly. That's why I think the overseas recruitment over the years hasn't been possibly as good as other clubs, which I think that's why they've struggled in sometimes in certain areas. So, but
possibly a top 6 finish for them. Got to go to them, Saints. Wow, what a turnaround. Squad numbers released. Have they played a blinder? Squad numbers released. Few eyebrows raised. Wellens off into the sunset. North Queensland Cowboys.
Is it?
North Queensland Cowboys.
North Queensland.
Chilling.
Nice.
Might be smiling
He's
after all. I felt for Wellens. I think. I mean, he were on an hiding to nothing after Wolf. Really, Wolf had done everything, won everything. The kill didn't really under him, and then obviously lost. You lose James Roby inevitably. At that point, he's irreplaceable. Clark's done a job. Is anyone going to match up to Roby? I don't think Clark were an issue. I think he's slotted in. He's had a lot of really good games. Yeah. Slotted in nicely, really. But they just... Breers came. They didn't seem to have that attack. What
spine.
They thought he were going to bring. What it just down to spine, do you think?
100%. Tristan Saylor's not a half-back. Never been a half-back. I think Saints signed him on the hopes that he was going to be another Bevan French. Yeah. One of those players that could play either full-back, half, wherever, and just kill it. And I don't think it's happened. Don't get me wrong, I think it potentially took him a bit of time to adjust, but I think his best period was when he was at full-back when Wellesby were injured.
Well, that's the funny thing. Saints' best run last year were when Wellesby weren't in the team.
Don't get me wrong. You're going to go with what Wellesby are you at full-back, which I understand that, and I personally would as well if I was making that decision.
You can't not.
But I just think Saylor's not a half-back, but then you've got a marquee who, if you don't play him in halves, where else are you going to play him? I wouldn't like to see him go to the wing again because
he can't go on the wing, can he?
Well, it's not even just that. Obviously, you've got young players coming through like Dagnall. You've also got Lewis Murphy as well. Were hampered with injuries last year, but them sort of players, and I think just to stick Saylor on the wing, just to get just some, to accommodate. Yeah, I just think if you're going to do that, you might as well just leave, sort of thing.
We'll bring it up. Hey, Jackson Hastings.
Yeah.
Signed him out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's come out of nowhere. They've kept it under wraps. That
top signing.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, the club have done well to keep it sort of in house, really. And I know there were sort of a few murmurs going on in sort of like the day leading up to that, but nothing kind of came out. They've signed Jackson Hastings, a big signing. He's got to play.
100%.
Oh, he's going to be. Yeah, he's going to be the starting half. He's going to be first name on team sheet.
So if you're going for a Saints spine,
yeah,
who's that spine? Who's your fullback? Your 6, your 7, and obviously Clark will be 9.
I think what he's going to go for, which we spoke about the other day. Saylor could have a good year at halfback, and who knows? Under Paul Rowley, they play a lot more attacking brand of rugby as well. So he could actually have a decent year if he's got that controlling half next to him, and if Hastings can do that, I think. Or what I would go for, which I think the best option is Wellesby, Saylor at 6, Hastings at 7, and then Lomax on the bench, because then...
Coming on where? Where's he come on?
Lomax could come on in the halves and you put Hastings to 13, just because Clemmer's...
Does that not just mess up?
It does, but...
Consistency in the spine.
No, it does, but Leigh, a lot of other clubs, not just point out Leigh because... They always play 2 9s because Edwin Apapi can play 13. And they did that a lot last year.
Yeah.
So, and I think, obviously, Hastings can play 13. He's played it over in Oz. And just the way he likes to play such an attacking style of rugby, Paul Rowley, I think that could be an option for him. But, obviously, like I say, we won't know until round 1.
Lomax, if he's on the bench, does he jump in at hooker?
He could. I think he could possibly jump
Clark
in at 9. I don't think Hastings will, but Hastings has played 9 as well in his time at Newcastle. So I think you've just got that versatility there with all of them. Like I say, I watched that. I was telling you about it where they did that fan thing. On YouTube. And Paul Rowley did say he knows his spine already. I can't see Clemmer. I think Clemmer.
He's not playing 13.
I can't see him playing. Just the way he likes to play, he likes the ball playing 13. I think Shorrocks will be in and around it as well. I know he hasn't been given, obviously, like I say, a squad number.
Question then: do you think that, given they've got Wellesby, Saylor, Lomax, Hastings, Whitby, potentially Robertson in the mix for a spine position? Do you think that if you're saying, I know you're saying Saylor goes in the halves, do you think they tried to maybe send him to the loan market? To send him on loan somewhere, Saylor?
I think they should have. I think they possibly should have done, but
And does he go on loan at some point in the season? Someone out of that
someone
spine's got to go on loan.
But Paul Rowley, obviously, he will know what he wants. How his spine looks, obviously he knows whether Sailor's a part of that. Obviously, like I say, we don't know. But I think if Sailor wasn't part of the plans, I think he would have already gone. So I think he would have had a suitors elsewhere.
I might be miles off the mark here, but you talk about the spine. I think the only question is whether he plays Sailor or Lomax.
Yeah.
Personally, I think Lomax has been a brilliant servant for St Helens. He's been fantastic, but he's maybe coming towards end.
Do you think Fletch? They've just announced that Matty Lees is the new Saints captain, so they've taken the captaincy off Johnny Lomax.
Yeah.
Is that a telling sign of?
I personally think it is. Yeah, I personally think it is. Don't get me wrong. I think he can be maybe a good rotation player, as you said. He can play hooker.
Yeah, he still offers a lot. Yeah,
he can slot in at loose forward. He can still offer something for Saints, but I think he's getting towards the back end of his career. He's been an unbelievable servant for St Helens. Yeah. He's been one of my favourite players for St Helens over the years, but I just think he's maybe his time.
Sad, it's sort of that sort of thing Leeds did with Sinfield, didn't they?
Yeah.
And it's you just sort of feel. Look, he's a professional, and he looks. Every player comments on his professionalism and everything. It's one of them. Is it better having him around the camp than not?
I think so. If
he can slot in, are there going to be times that he's going to be rotating the squad? I mean, we looked before, the depth in the squad now is a lot better than it looked 6 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go possibly quite, and I could be way off. I don't think he plays Hastings and Whitby together, so I think that takes Whitby out of that starting lineup. Hastings starts at 7. Wellesby starts at fullback.
Yeah.
And then I think now they've brought in Nene McDonald.
Yeah.
Percival's going to be the other centre, but I think Robertson's got to play somewhere. So I wouldn't be shocked if Robertson, young player of the year last year, does he get put to 6? Where he has played before. Did he just play in the centre last year because ultimately there were no one to go in the centre?
Well, in youth he was full back half on it, so I think that's why he's just.
I think we don't.
I wouldn't personally move him from the centres because I just think.
And he's got the centre shirt as well.
Yeah, he's got the centre. He's got the 3 shirt, but I wouldn't like to see him move from the centres. But I also wouldn't like to see Nene McDonald take his spot. Because I just think Harry Robertson, 19 years of age, is he?
Yeah.
I think, 19 years of age, just signed the long extension, and I think he'll be off to Australia after that. I think he's got the skill to one at best centres up there with Herbie Farnworth. I think he's that
natural
good. Like,
talent again, isn't he?
Over time, he will be. If he stays at centre, he will be the centre alongside Herbie Farnworth going forward. Which leaves your
spine.
Jake out.
I'm going Wellesby, Robertson, Hastings. You're going.
I'm going Sailor 6, Hastings 7, and Wellesby fullback. Yeah.
And you're going.
Agree with Shay.
Same.
I think he'll probably play Lomax maybe off the bench.
Yeah.
Maybe as a.
I think Lomax plays, but he's off the bench, isn't he? I think we're all thinking that. Did they make the top 6?
Yeah, I think they do. To be honest, I think they will.
I'm going to end up saying now, but when we do those predictions at the end of the episode, I know I'm going to end up taking them out for someone.
Right, hold the thought then.
We'll go through it at the end.
So, thinking Warrington. They're in a bit of a similar spot. Did they know what the best spine is?
Well,
they've given Taylor Ray, he's got full-back shirt. Well, so they've gone with youth as well in starting shirt positions, if you like. I mean, we know that sometimes these shirts can mean nothing, but ultimately, I suppose you sort of like to think that released shirt means that they're more than likely going to be starting at the beginning of the season, if not in the 13 and 17.
Looks like they're trying to obviously get Matt Duffy out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think he'll be gone before the start of the season, but. Yeah, I think I'm hoping they have a good season, just because I think Burgess did bring a lot to the team when he first came over.
I think a better Warrington does make for obviously all teams a better team for every.
I'm hoping George Williams has a better season. I think he struggled a little bit last season, as did Warrington just in general. but I think Williams obviously. I think I can already call it now. If he's fit, he's going to be out starting.
He's starting.
And he's obviously captain
for
the World Cup, which I don't mind because I really like George Williams. I think he's a really
what did you think
player,
George Williams World Cup? Not World Cup. Ashes. What did you think?
I don't think he played bad. I just wanted more from him.
Is he a captain for England?
I do. I just wanted more from him. I think I've got no problems with him being the England captain. I just wanted a little bit more from him. But saying that, I wanted more from both the halves.
I think that's the sort of thing you've got to think is. I felt as though we were potentially. Australia didn't come up and they didn't really have the best performances at times.
No,
they looked pretty average compared to what we've seen the likes.
And that's scary.
Yeah, and
very.
And a few of the players were sat at home with a feel.
Yeah,
and it used to make me laugh. I remember watching the press conference with Shaun Wane, and I remember him sitting there and being like, "To beat Australia, we have got to have the best game of our lives. We've got to all have the best game we've ever played." I'm thinking, Australia just turned up. They weren't at the best. They made England look. Don't get me wrong. We had 20-minute spells at the start of games where we looked fantastic, but I think as a team performance, it's just a bit of a shame to see. I just think we're still quite a way behind Australia, and maybe not as good as what we maybe think we are just yet. I think
and they got some
to go.
Real class, haven't we? All over, even the players that weren't picked.
Unbelievable.
You look at, like I say, Jake Conor, not picked. Luke Thompson, not picked. These are class players that. Could come into that squad. There could be some young ones come through. Does Harry Robertson, if he's playing, does he get in there for that World Cup? He's had George Whitby and Ferryman in that train-on squad throughout. Does he expect them to progress through this year? But going back to Shaun Wane, again, it's another discussion for itself. We could spend time on that. Does he coach England at the World Cup or not?
I don't think he does. Not through my opinion, as in whether I want him to or not.
You think they'll go with a change?
I think they'll go with a change.
And that's the next question, isn't it? Who else do you bring in? Because
there's been mentions of Sam Burgess. Does he come in? Wow. Do they get an Aussie? I heard someone say about someone like a Justin Albrook that's done it over here. He's coached over there. Someone like that. Do you get someone like that in that knows both sides? Did the Winston Churchill picture? Did that get the boys up for the game?
Obviously not.
We'll fight them on the beaches. We'll fight them at Headingley. I mean, I don't know.
You get it, don't you? What I love about Shaun Wane is I don't think you find someone more passionate than him.
To be fair,
you could see the passion. You see it. Shaun Wane did it for years at Wigan, through and through. Yeah. Does he go to an NRL team? I'm saying sort of 5 or 6, 7 years ago when he finished at Wigan. I'm sure he could have gone to an NRL team. Yeah. Does he do as well there? I'm not sure. I think he's got to be a great coach.
I think he'd still do well over there if he was to be a head coach.
Yeah,
he's still a top coach, and I'd have no qualms with him still taking England to the World Cup. I think there's going to be a change, which is against worrying because we're going to have a manager then that's probably going to meet the players just a few times through the year, and then we've got to.
With international teams, with your likes of England, Australia, and just international teams in general. I think it's a completely different type of management and coaching because you bring in a load of players together who are the top of the game, best of the best. Do you know what I mean? And all you've got to do as a manager is make them players play well together. Yeah. They know what they're doing, they know how to play, they know what to do.
They're not teaching them to play rugby, are they?
That's it. And it's breaking down the barriers of the rivalry at club level and making them players play as best they can. And I think it's a different type of management.
I don't know if you heard as well, there were a few comments made obviously on the back of, I think with the 2008 World Cup where they'd gone to Australia and the Leeds Saints boys were just not gelling together. It was a disaster of a campaign, and again I think sort of Tony Smith went down that route of just not letting them. It was very black and white. You do this, you do that, and I think there has been comments in the past that have been then made on the back of it that them players couldn't gel together. I think you can see Shaun Wane has brought something to have it. Wayne Bennett used to be really good at it, bringing them boys together, getting that real sense of camaraderie in the group. And it's got to be tough, hasn't it? These guys go 100%. Against each other week in, week out, and then 2 weeks later, end of season, you're asking 5 lads from Wigan and 3 or 4 lads from Ulster to come together. And at the end of the day, they're grown men, so they should be able to come together. You know, and for the sake of the country, you get along and you're mates, aren't you? Your brothers, you go into war, aren't you? And that's.
I think we're just a gap in level, though.
I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think. Was it a case of did we not help ourselves going out before it started? We were almost winding the Aussies up, saying we're going to catch them short and all the rest of it. Did we do a bit too much speaking before? And they've come over, got the flight, been messing around London, Liverpool, Leeds, and. Bugging off back home, and they've had a jolly boys. Like,
who knows? I'm going to throw one more curveball in there because I saw it rumoured somewhere, and I don't know if there's any truth in it. But if they were to bring in somebody new, I read somewhere, it was on an article, that there were rumours of bringing Andy Farrell from Rugby Union and getting Andy Farrell.
I mean, he's as God, isn't he, in Ireland at the minute?
And I know Andy Farrell's been involved in Rugby Union for a long time, and for him to come over and to be England Rugby League coach, it'd be a big risk, but it goes back to what we were saying before. I don't think these players, they know how to play rugby.
This is the thing. And I've always wondered this, at professional sport, we say it all the time, does a good rugby league player make a good coach? Well, the answer's no. We've seen that time and time and time again. Does it possibly help? Maybe. Does someone that's not been good at rugby league or good at another sport that goes into elite coaching, can they still become an elite coach? Well, I think Matt Peat, there's no secret there. He wasn't an elite sportsman before. He's come in, worked his way through the ranks and done really well with that Wigan squad. You know, there were probably times I can imagine a lot of Wigan fans might be able to tell us in the comments if not, but when that was announced that he was taking over as a head coach, I'm sure there were a few sort of head scratchers thinking, well, this ain't going to go down well, but they've done well, haven't they, really? Yeah. He's done really well there and brought something together. You know, do we need someone? Wayne Bennett, the best of all, he couldn't do it.
No.
He didn't do it. Do we need a Burgess to come in who's, again, similarly to I suppose Sean Wayne in that passion? Are we going to get anyone as passionate as him? Possibly not. He's that elite player that's gone through. I know Sean Wayne were a player as well, but Sam Burgess has got that sort of that pedigree, hasn't he, as an elite player, both sides of the globe. I don't know. We could talk all day long. I suppose a quick question: is Sean Wayne going to be the England coach at that World Cup? Shay?
No.
Fletch?
Can I sit on the fence?
No.
I'm in two minds. Part of me says one part.
You don't have to give an answer. If he's not, you don't have to give an answer. But
I don't think he will. No, sadly.
I think he will. I think he's probably, in a sense of before that Ashes series. Let's take into consideration that Aussie team. World class, super players across the pitch. We have as well, but are we up to that standard? Probably not. The series before and the Tonga and the Samoa series, he got the wins. Obviously France not up to much, but he's had wins there. So has he got, as he phrased it himself, that credit in the bank? I think he might have it for this World Cup. You've already referenced. He's not. Whoever's.
I'll change my mind. I think he is. Yeah,
whoever's coming in, are they going to get that time?
No, they're not. No. Obviously, Matthew Shaw did advise we're going to hear before there'll be a decision before Christmas.
It's interesting. And I think either way we get on board with it, don't we? I think there'll be people saying if Sean Wayne's still in charge, why? And I think if someone else comes in, I think there might be probably more people likening the fact of somebody else coming in. But actually, when you look at the bigger picture, how long does that coach have? They've got probably, if you announce it before Christmas, they've got 9 or 10 months to get sorted for that World Cup. What are they going to do in that time? Probably not a lot. We don't have it in the calendar, do we?
No.
So we digress there. Again, maybe a conversation for another day. But Warrington, do they do anything this year? Do they finish? Again, I know we're going to go for our predictions at the end. But
I don't think they're going to finish.
They've got Hopoate, so we saw Will Hopoate at Saints a few years ago. Steady away, great player. Yeah. Got a strike player, and his brother coming over. Does he do anything? is he a replacement for, say, Roderick Ty? Is it that sort of mould, direct replacement? Don't think he's going to set the world alight, but really he's probably a decent player to come in, isn't he?
I think he'll go well, yeah.
It reminds me a bit of a Jacob Gagai sort of signing last year.
Similar.
When he came over, but yeah, we'll see. I suppose the interesting one's James Bentley. Leaving Leeds, cloudy maybe. Turned up, he sort of fell off a little bit last year, didn't he? With Leeds,
I think he was just out of favour.
Out of favour with Brad Arthur,
yeah. I think he'll do all right. He's a good player. You know what you're getting from him, don't you? So
yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see our predictions at the end, see where they go. But I suppose for me, it was just that depth. Have they got depth in that squad? I'm not sure. I expected maybe them to do what Saints have done and announce some maybe late signings.
Interested to see how Irwin goes on though.
Obviously he's killed it in that academy tour.
Really good.
Andrew Johns had some really good things to say about him. Is he 18 now? 17, 18? He debuted at 17, I think,
he might be 18 now, but
18.
I'm not sure.
You know, there's him and I suppose Whitby, a couple of years older than him. Are they the next two half-backs for England? Possibly.
We'll see.
Well, I suppose we've touched on Wigan and Matt Peat. Not really any ins coming into their squad for next
Ollie Wilson,
season.
aren't they, out of
Ollie Wilson,
I think he'll go well there.
As a Wigan fan, would you be excited for this coming year?
I think he's just going to go. It's one of those signings that I don't think Wigan fans are going to be unhappy with it, but I think a lot of the Wigan fans aren't going to be like over the moon about it. But I think he'll go really well there, and I think he's got a good chance, of going end of this year. Well, end of next year to the World Cup, mate.
He was always very well thought of at Huddersfield, and I think looking at
Giants have got to be disappointed to lose him.
Massive, and it's the contradiction. It's as a Giants fans we're going to be gutted, and like you mentioned about Wigan fans are probably not going to be that excited about it. They're going to think it's all right, Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I don't think they're going to be disappointed with it. They're definitely not going to be disappointed.
It's a bigger loss to Huddersfield than a bigger gain to Wigan, if that makes sense.
I can't imagine a Wigan fans excited opening that present under Christmas tree.
That's it.
It's just one of them, isn't it? Like a great player in his own right. Does he go to that next level at Wigan? You'd like to think that's what the move's about.
I think he does.
Does he want to be in that World Cup squad? He's been a good player, great servant, hasn't he, for Huddersfield? But
really good.
I think, like you say, Huddersfield are probably more disappointed than Wigan fans are maybe excited about it. But he's a good front rower, isn't he? He's good. I think he gets in most teams, doesn't he?
Gets in most teams,
I think he's just one of them that goes about his business quietly and does a really good job. So they've still got the fans' favourites, Field and French. Smith played a bit of the World. Keep saying the World Cup, getting too ahead of myself. Ashes series. Smith obviously played a bit in there after Wellesby coming out of that squad and Mikey Lewis dropping out. So does he go that next level as well? Harry Smith, he doesn't set the world alight, does he? But he does a good job. He kicks teams to death.
It's a good kicking game. Harry Smith is Harry Smith, isn't he? I think he's an all-round good player. I think I think more or less every team, I think 80% of teams in Super League take him and start him at 7.
I think the thing is with Wigan, they fell really short in the Challenge Cup, went out early in the Challenge Cup.
The Giants.
They've got to go probably one step, they're going on, they're firing for all cylinders, don't they? League, Cup and Grand Final.
Yeah.
They're not involved in a World Cup challenge this year. They're not involved in Vegas.
No. Oh, Wigan are going to be back. Well, Wigan are always there or thereabouts anyway, aren't they?
They're going to be there and thereabouts.
They still finished second last year, so
they're in the top two more than likely for most rugby league fans. And
we're going to get to
players across the board.
Yeah, we're going to get to predictions later out. But let's be honest. I think there's only 2 teams in mind again for this year.
I've got another one, mate. Which we'll touch on later. But I've got
building this up, suspense.
I know.
Suspense.
I don't think they particularly play. When I watched Wigan last season, I don't think they particularly. The year before when you watched it, you just thought these are so good. Yeah. Last year I was a bit like, but
I think they still finished second. Up and down, and had some really the Giants loss. I think they lost to FC, didn't they? At home that game at home to FC. Where they were 22-0 up or something and they go and lose, don't they?
weird ones.
I think there were just some really odd losses, and I don't know if you're a Wigan fan. And again, like I say, let us know in the comments. But do you go away from that grand final last year? They were way off in that grand final. Then again, if them 2 tries go, Farrell, if he takes that pass, French, if he grounds
that's
the ball.
what I mean. They weren't a million miles away.
They weren't a million miles away, were they?
Especially the big games, them sort of little moments. Like
as a fan, do you go away from that thinking, we're missing here? I mean, they've got Eckersley. I was surprised, Eckersley, that he weren't in that grand final team. I would have thought he'd have gone in that, but it seems... No, I think they just went with... Did they go with Miskey? I think they went with Miskey, didn't they? But he looked like he were playing on one leg. I think they did. I think they went with Miskey.
Can't remember that.
But I think Eckersley...
I think you're right,
Eckersley's well thought of.
Yeah, Zach Eckersley's is your long term.
Do they have if they had the time again, does he play that? Possibly. Liam Farrell. There were a lot of... What a servant he's been, by the way.
Yeah, he has.
What a servant he's been.
And I sometimes feel like...
Is he a bit of a Lomax?
Yeah, this always happens towards like the back end of the career. And it gets to that point, doesn't it, of like, nah, like, you know, because you think about what he's done at Wigan all of his career, and he's been one of the best. He's been one of the best across Super League, not just at Wigan, in the back row. And it's just getting to the point now where it's a bit...
See, I'd pick him, mate, still. I think he's brilliant still.
Yeah,
he's one of them that just grafts.
Yeah.
He does. And to be fair, there's a reason why obviously contract still gets extended. He's still there this year.
Yeah.
It's quite honest, I still don't think he's going to lose his shirt number. Not that means he's necessarily going to play, but I don't know.
He still puts
he's
the
in the 17, he's in the 17, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's in the 17.
Yeah.
Again, we speak of sort of perspective of Wigan fans. Do you want him in a starting shirt? But if he's not, they've got obviously Nsemba, who dropped off a little bit. You've got Nsemba, you think Walters, do they push Walters in and go with that and go with more youth? Don't know. I really don't know.
Well,
it's a tricky one for them. I think, like I say, there's a lot of changes that can be made. There's obviously not a lot of outs. They brought them a couple of young Saints lads in, Vaughan and Sambu. I don't think they're jumping into... They're not jumping into 17.
Wait to get out of Saints, them, Judd.
Yeah, I can't see them jumping into 17. It's an odd one, that, isn't it?
But future,
cover there for them, I suppose. But do they go that one step further? I think, like I say, as always, they're firing for all silverware out there. But do they get it? I don't know. Maybe I think as a Wigan fan, I think they'd probably be thinking we probably wanted a bit more in off-season. But they've had a good squad, haven't they? They've had a really good squad. You often wonder how are they under cap. But they've got a lot of youth as well.
Yeah,
they've got a lot of youth that have played for a while, and they've got the marquee players that have come through youth, which will obviously help them as well. But moving on from Wigan, I'm going to touch on KR, seeing as though we've sort of discussed the grand final.
The Robins.
KR, they took everything last year. What a season for them. They're the blueprint, aren't they, at the minute for Super League. Owners come out and sort of said, really, for what they've put in, do they get back in silverware and the trophies and commercially and all that kind of stuff? Probably not. But for a club, they needed to get that silverware, and they've took it all. So really tricky start to the season. Got Vegas, got World Cup Challenge, and some tricky games to start the season as well.
I
not really any ins and outs either.
No,
apart from the two major ones, McAlorum. Warrior Hargreaves.
I feel like they was brought in to obviously do what happened last season, i.e. the big games, and I feel like that lifts everyone anyway now. So like, the likes of your Michael Lewis, your young players, obviously Jeslett and them sort of players. Now they've won it now, so they'll turn into them sort of like big game players. I thought Michael Lewis was unreal. Grand final performance from him.
Yeah, outstanding, and a good Ashes series as well.
I think they are going to, like I say, Matthew Shaw that mentioned it, to be honest, and when I had a real deep down and think about it, they've got a tough start. Like I say, they've got they've got York first game, which everyone can look at that and be like, I
think they'll be firing first game of the season. It's not going to be an easy game.
But then obviously, like I say, it's one of those things, in it. They'll go into the World Club Challenge and they'll all be up here.
Yeah.
Every single player.
Eyes are on that.
Every single player want to play in that game. Everyone will be looking forward to it, and then it's one of those. Then you come low, don't you? And then they go out. They have to go out to Vegas, and they come back. I think they've got 2 French. I think they've got Toulouse and Catalan in quick succession. I just think if you don't,
yeah,
it's
one of them, isn't it?
Because you're up there, and then going back
and
down
we see
there.
it happen, don't we? You see it happen.
Seen it happen to Wigan last year, Warrington last year. That Vegas trip did take a lot out of him, just because you're that focused on the Vegas trip or the Ashes.
And I suppose fair play to Ulcar and Leeds and Wigan and Warrington last year. We've got to get the teams out to these things. 100%. I know they say stuff about like Hong Kong and things like that for NRL, getting something over there. Commercially, it has to be done.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with it, yeah. I just think they've got a tough start to the season, which I don't doubt, even if they do have a tough start and they pick up a fair few losses, I still won't count them out, the squad that they've got now.
Tom Amone's come in, a few games at Cas last year, played great
really strong player,
before that,
really
great player.
They're going to be up there, aren't they? I know a few people, well, not a few people, I've seen it mentioned that they could drop down, but they're going to be in the top 6, comfortably in the top 6, and I dare say they're going to be in the top 4.
You mentioned, talking about Hull, and you mentioned Hargreaves and McAlorum. We've talked a bit about it with Saints, with Lomax and things like that. I always get a little bit worried when you see some of them older heads starting to step away, and it's almost like the old guard is like held a team together for so long. Yeah. Not so much with Hull, but I always look back at the likes of Rhinos.
I was about to say.
When you've got the likes of Sinfield, Maguire, Peacock, they all sort of retired at a very similar time, and I don't personally think Leeds have been quite there since they did. Not. It happened a little bit with Wigan as well. You had the likes of Luluwai and players like that step away, and all of a sudden these big players fall away, and it's maybe not the team as what it used to be.
And you hear now, don't you? I think that's why, and whether teams have done it in the past or not, but some of these chairmen, CEOs have been on podcasts before, and they've said, we're season 2025 now. We're already planning for 2028. We've got us team for 26. We've got us team for 27, and we're forecasting for 2028. If they don't do that, Leeds, like you said, have they been the same since they went? Can you replace them guys? Maybe not.
Fair, I think they'll do well. Like I said, it seems like Leeds are planning a little bit more for the future. Like I said, tying Jake Conor down, which is going to be massive, because now he's going to be there for 3 years. And Brody Coffs, I think he's on a bit of a long-term deal. I know he's definitely got next season on top of this one. So them to your starting halves. So I think obviously your spine is massive. I know your forwards. Every player is obviously as important as each other, but I think your spine's massive. Like if you've got consistency in your spine and your spine's clicking, and your sevens just rolling around park organised.
Because they had the 6 and 7, May and Lewis sorted.
Yeah.
They had them. Full-back were chopped and changed all year. They signed Artemorg, who were a great signing for him. He came in. He was cup-tied. I think cup-tied.
He was cup-tied to play Jack Broadbent.
So then Broadbent
he played really well as well.
It's like Broadbent comes in like, does he play?
It's hard for Broadbent because he's
probably a victim of that utility sort of player.
Yeah, unfortunately, because I think he's probably warranted himself a squad number. But then at the same time, are you taking Ollie Gildart and Hiku out, and then 3 or 4 shirts for? He don't come in at 1 over Arthur Morgan. They've also signed Declan Murphy from Salford, which
great
is
player.
He's going to be. He looked really well at a struggling Salford.
Saracens player.
He looked really well at Salford, who was struggling like crazy, and he looked really well. So in a KR team, that's going to be probably on top of a lot of oppositions.
They're going to be there, they're going to be thereabouts. It's just, I suppose, see how that start of the season goes, and maybe it might just take them some time to get firing again. But I suppose moving down the M62 from Hull to Cas Vegas.
Tigers.
Down at the
they've had a shocker recently, haven't they? Cas, it's just from that 2017 year, and maybe they sort of overachieved maybe.
Was that
the
grand final year?
Yeah, I always think that year, that was when, not just.
They were so.
It might be a wild statement, but that was the most I've enjoyed rugby watching Castleford play. I remember they hammered you lot
Yeah.
They hammered, like, Leeds went there and they were just hammering everyone.
Remind me of the teams. They had like
Zach
Hardacre,
fullback.
Shane, was he there?
Yeah,
Nick
Shay, yeah, Luke
Luke
Gale in
Gale.
Luke
halves.
Gale, yeah, of course.
Well, Ben Roberts in
They had
halves
players
as well.
They had Eden on the wing.
Yeah, like Eden,
Ben Roberts
Greg
in
Minnick,
halves.
like all them players were just killing it.
What do you think it were in the grand final? Because I just remember that final. I just remember Maguire just kicking him to death.
Yeah.
Well,
I think they were experienced.
They lost Hardacre, didn't they?
So I think if you look at last year when Wigan beat KR, I think that were a very similar grand final to that Leeds Cass year.
Yeah.
All KR, hardly any players with grand final experience. Wigan, plenty.
Those, yeah, very true. Yeah, very true.
Cass, hardly anyone with experience. Leeds, plenty. Yeah. And I think it was just that. Like, I think did Cass beat them 4 out of 5 times that year?
Yeah,
5 out of 5 times.
Yeah.
And then went to grand final and
Lost,
get beat.
yeah.
But let's not forget all that commotion that went on just before it as well.
Yeah, that would have
which
been massive.
just
Yeah.
can't have helped. That situation, but
Excited to see him this year.
yeah,
Anyway.
I think it's exciting for Cass. I think if you're a Cass fan, it's exciting times. They've made some probably not, marquee benchmark players, but they've signed players which
I think
have had really good careers in places.
is a bit of a standout one, isn't it?
Like you say, you've got some NRL signings in there as well too.
It'd be interesting to see how the halves go on.
I think it's the team. I think you just look at the team and you don't know where players are going to play. You've got wingers, you've got centres, good players as well that can do a job. They've had a few. They've had a clear out, haven't they?
Yeah,
as well,
I think they're just heading for a steady season this season. I don't think they want to be scraping around at the bottom again. I don't think they want to be.
I can't see that. Yeah.
They'll definitely be better than last year.
They're going to be better than last year. Are they going to make the top 6? Obviously, I know we're going to. But I can comfortably say now, I don't think they're going to make the top 6 just with the strength. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think anyone argues with that.
But
if you look across the whole,
I think they've got an opportunity there to maybe do what Hull did last year. They had a lot of ins, and a lot of outs, and I think they're going to be up there, thereabouts. They've got a few exciting players.
I know they've changed a lot,
sort
of in terms of. I know the stadium debacle continues, but obviously they've made some changes to the ground and stuff last year. They've changed the stadium. Obviously they're trying to put the youth together with the first team and bring it all together in that sense. Cass have always had really good academy setups. I think that Cass's only issue has been keeping hold of their youth. Yeah. They always seem to go elsewhere, and maybe, I don't know, my only thing is that they're missing maybe some of that, again, that what we spoke about with Hull earlier, and that Hull sort of culture within Wigan. They've got the Wigan lads, Saints, got Saints lads, Leeds, you've got your Leeds lads. Hull have started to bring that Hull youth into that squad and keep hold of it. Do Cass have enough of that in their squad? They're bringing
not.
Players through, and they seem to, again, they either don't get that opportunity, and it's a different season. Ryan Carr's come in, he's had a stint with Fev, done some assistant coaching at Leeds as well, gone back to NRL, come back over here.
I think he'll do pretty well, mate. Yeah. He speaks quite well in his interviews, so I'm hoping they do.
Fev will fly in. I know it's Championship, but Fev will fly in when he were over here. I'm
hoping they do well. I think they deserve it. I think the fans struggled last year with what.
You can't blame them, can you?
They struggled last year. So I hope.
Interestingly, as the season ticket renewals there and stuff, they'll be probably peaking at a point where, compared to last year, fans are probably questioning. Do we bother? But let's be honest, when you go down jungle Friday nights or Sunday afternoon, it's the mega place to be in. It's proper rugby ground, place to go.
Yeah, it is a tough place to go for opposition.
That Weldon Road
smaller pitch. Even when you go there, it just feels so small, that pitch. Almost feels a bit illegal. That, I think, but obviously it is. But it's so small, it's so compact. I've seen so many teams, like when I've been there, you see so many players kicking out on dead ball line, and you see it all the time.
Kicking out on full,
and it's just such a small pitch. And
they've got to make that place a fortress.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing. They've got to make that place
away from home.
Tough.
That's my thing. When you look at Cass, they go to Wigan. Do you see them winning? 99 out of 100 people say no. They'll go to Saints, you say no. They'll go to Warrington, you think no.
I think they say when they go to Saints.
Probably. But that home grounds, they've got to take that as their advantage, haven't they? It's tough. Players going into them changing rooms. Yeah. Same with I know Wakey obviously changed things around now, but They've got to make that place a fortress. They've got to get some wins there, and they can't be scraping around in that bottom, especially bottom three. You've got 3 promoted clubs. They can't be around there, can they?
No.
But yeah, do they make the top 6? Potentially not, or probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. Leigh.
I think Leigh will do well.
Bit of a way, been quiet. Very
I
quiet.
don't.
Good season last year. Another good season. Adrian Lamb, he's doing well. There's them murmurs coming through again. Lamb, does he go? Perth Bears. Lachlan Lamb, does he go? Then obviously.
I think I actually predicted last year that they were going to fall out of the top 6, and obviously they went on to have a really good season. I think this season, they're going to be right up there. I think the signings that they've made. I think Liam Horn signing's a bit of a shrewd signing. Again, a bit under the radar.
Quiet business, isn't it?
Yeah,
Quiet
business. They signed the half from Canberra, Adam Cook.
Obviously, they brought one of the senior brothers in.
I think he looks really well. So him and Lachlan Lamb in the halves, and then you've also got obviously Gaz O'Brien will probably take a little bit of a step back this season, but offers great utility. Like I say,
where does that leave Ben McNamara? Bringing Liam Horn in, because McNamara sometimes filled in that 9 position. Where does that leave Ben McNamara?
I think it leaves him quite far down the pecking order.
Does Mbappe stay at 9 this time? Because there were some times I felt when Leigh were playing, they were flying. They'd move Mbappe to 13, bring McNamara on, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it wouldn't. Is it that messing around the spine? There's Lamb thinking, right, where's Mbappé's best position? It's at 9.
I think the key thing was obviously last year, Brad Dwyer was out of favour for a lot of it. So they brought Ben McNamara in to come and cover.
And they kept Dwyer as well.
Yeah, Liam.
So what's that look like then?
No, Dwyer's gone.
Is he gone?
Is it?
Dwyer's gone. Yeah, obviously that's why they signed Liam Horn. So Liam Horn is they're going to be your 2 9s. I think Liam Horn will go well. I quite like to.
Why do I think he's got a new contract?
I'm not sure. Yeah, no, he's not. He's retired.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair. I hope you're right.
I'm right.
Viewers, if he's wrong, get in the comments.
Proper developing it now.
Nothing's fictional here. It's all true.
Yeah, all 100%
truth.
But yeah, I think they do really well. I think they're going to be quite far up there. I think they've got a lot of depth. Josh Hodgson.
Yeah.
Bailey Hodgson. Yeah, great player.
Yeah, had a really good season. Don't get me wrong, I don't think he's going to push. I think soon as Davy Armstrong's back from his ACL, he's going to slot straight back in there.
Yeah.
But Bailey Hodgson can cover wing, or you could possibly push him
They've
into
got
centre.
some depth, haven't they, as well? All I'm thinking is, and we'll come on to Championship promoted teams, but some of them 3 teams need some players. And I'm thinking your likes of, we spoke about Saints earlier and their depth. We spoke about Leigh there, Ben McNamara. How long can he sit on bench for, or sit outside squad?
Yeah.
I think Toulouse, Bradford, York are gonna probably take advantage of some of these players and early doors as well. Whether it's these 2-week recall loans, I don't think. I know obviously Dupree will come on to a Toulouse, but some are going on year-long loans. But I'm thinking same with like your Whitby at Saints. They've got to get some game time. They can't sit and just play. The reserves level's just not up to it, as we all know.
I think,
McNamara, he's not going to play reserves, is he? Where's he going?
Yeah.
Liam Horn, does he slot straight into that Leigh? Is he cover?
I think he's definitely going to be a bench, innit?
Early doors don't take long for a few injuries, unfortunately. And I think
that's what I mean. It's after about 4 rounds, that's when you see maybe
are they going to be getting a gig or not? Yeah.
So, yeah.
But we think they're going to be around that, maybe top 4 again.
I
think they've got. You mentioned Fortress. Castleford have got to make it a Fortress. Tell you what, Leigh. I'm going to watch them. That's a Fortress, isn't it?
I genuinely
think that's a horrible place to go.
Yeah, I was with John Wilkin last year. John Wilkin got a load of flack for saying Leigh were going to fall out, but I actually thought the same. But obviously they clearly didn't. I think this year they've gone again. Their fans are.
Can we just discuss
really passionate.
that new kit?
It's not good. It's bad. last year's were a lot.
It's not good.
I must have seen, mate, I've not seen that one. I'd have to have a look at it. If it's as bad as some of the leopard print ones that they released before,
it's up there. I'll give them the Jet 2s.
The Jet 2 sponsor is really
sponsor.
good. That's the only good thing.
Great sponsor. Up there with Own Bargains, probably.
nothing beats the Jet 2 holiday, does it?
It doesn't not beat. But yeah, it's a bad.
It's a bad one. That.
They've gone with
Whilst we're on that, what are some of the bad kits?
Saints.
The away one, I agree on.
Yeah.
Home one.
I just think, obviously, like you've gone for the old-fashioned look. I mean, only thing that makes it work, Home Bargains is a massive sponsor, by the way. I don't take anything away from that. Obviously, it is a bit of a laugh, but seriously,
it's
it looks
a really, really big, terrible sponsor.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't think it looks good on that, because you've gone for an old-fashioned shirt, which I like the old crest and things like that. And I think it's quite. It
like
is,
the collar,
it
looks good.
Like it does look good, but then, like I say, like the blue and red Bargains up the jersey.
Still look good, doesn't
it?
No, it don't.
It's like when you look at old football kits and you look at some of the old sponsors of football kits. When you had like Man United, when they had like Sharp. Even in going into rugby league, I always remember old Wigan kits when they had JJB on front.
Kits.
Some really good sponsors, but then, like you said, you've got.
I think that's the thing. I mean, some of them with the Wigan shirt last year had a massive green thing as well. Like some of the, I get it. It's money coming in, and you take it, don't you? But you'd like to think part of whether, and maybe they might have said it to O'Neill's, but you think, could they not done that Home Bargains in just all red? Do you know what I mean? Like it blends in, like Jet 2 blends in really nice with the Leigh kit. Yeah. So it makes the Leigh shirt not look as bad. But like that away shirt's terrible. What are some of the bad ones?
I don't know,
I want some good ones.
To be fair, I like Cass's. I like Cass's.
Castleford's kit.
They've got the new
Cass's
crest,
nice. They've gone a bit retro-y as well, haven't they?
Yeah, I like the crest.
Gone with the amber.
To be fair, a bit biased as well because we're from Huddersfield.
I was about to say.
I actually quite like that. Huddersfield.
Huddersfield's gone weird though. They've gone for an away-looking home shirt.
And they're back to Bond it.
Back to Bond it as a sponsor, but their away kit's a strange one. It almost looks like Hull FC, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
very much.
Yeah, it does. Is it the away kit or is it the alternative kit?
Fanta fruit, not Fanta fruit twist. The Tango Ice Blast. Tango Ice Blast, isn't it?
Not sure how I feel about
that.
That's
a good one.
Yeah. Some interesting ones, but we will see what turns up when the season starts. I'm sure Leeds and FC will release 9 kits across the season anyway, won't they?
LFC always release a load of kits.
And Wakefield, we didn't come on to it. They generally got some nice kits, new stadium, things looking really good. Good season for them. Did they overachieve last year?
I don't. Potentially, and that's what worries me about them for this year. I think a few teams, i.e. Catalan, Warrington, and a few teams like that was off it last year, and that's the only thing that worries me for them this year. I like everything they're doing. Obviously, Matt Ellis has just been a revelation for the club, hasn't he? But I do worry.
It's been outstanding.
Yeah, I do worry with Catalan, who we'll get onto, but Catalan are going to be back there or thereabouts, and I think they could be pushing for a spot.
That's the thing. Did some teams last year have really big?
They were off,
weren't they?
They're
Warrington, they had an off year. Catalan, they were shocking.
But then I also look at, obviously they've managed to get the 6th spot over Hull FC. Yeah. And I just think this year Hull FC's team looks strong.
It does.
They've got a lot of depth.
Wakey have strengthened, haven't they, as well? They've got grand finalists from NRL.
I think they'll surprise a few people, Wakefield. I think they'll have another good year, I think personally. I think a lot of it with teams, personally, I think boils down to what goes on behind the club as well, and the investment that goes on.
Of course, yeah.
You look at Leigh, who we've talked about, what Beaumont's done at Leigh. He's completely transformed it. He's turned it into a fortress. It's brilliant. Wakefield, they've just had a big stadium redevelopment.
Yeah.
What they're doing is really good. And then you look at teams that are maybe not doing as well. You like Castleford and Huddersfield are probably underachieving.
Yeah.
There's loads of stuff going on outside of the club.
We only see the product, don't we? We see what's on the telly, and with Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's what we see. But what goes on behind closed doors, and you can tell what's gone on at OKR. Everything from when we went last, the fan zone before it, that heavy sort of entertainment before the game, half time. What's it look like after the game when Uta's gone? Like, does it just end and everyone floods out and they go? Are people You know, is there places to go outside the ground? What's it like, the build-up? It's the whole thing, innit? Going to the rugby is not just
I think that's
turning
one thing,
up, sitting down, watching it, going home. Like, it's got to be an experience, hasn't it? And let's not take away the fact of how much it costs to go to the rugby.
Especially with
we
kids
go down
and
to
that,
Giants. You go down to Giants, you're 28, 30 quid for a ticket. It's soulless at times.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You go to Leigh, something on before game, there's fireworks going off, there's flames, crowds bouncing.
Yeah.
It's
that's the thing, innit?
OKR, same. Crowds bouncing beforehand. Music that I've got going, fan zone before it.
I think that's what Wakey have brought as well, to
Yeah.
say, I know they've had a good season respective of, but obviously, like I said, the other teams that you've mentioned are at the top, so obviously all the fans, wanting to go, but I feel like a lot of their fans at Wakey, I've actually seen they posted a snippet, I think, at one of the fans speaking to Jake Truman. One of the fans were just like, just like football, don't really come to rugby. But I came some point through middle last season, and he's carried on going ever since, and I think he's even got a season ticket for this year. I think that's all it takes. Like what around, like you always see.
It's getting bums on seats, isn't it?
Yeah, bums on seats,
my
match days
issue is
experience.
Are we asking too much money from? And let's be honest, like rugby league fans like to think we're salt of earth, aren't we? Really, and yeah, we're all working class people, or majority of rugby league fans are, and 30 quid is too much. Adult ticket, it's far too much. Schools, are we doing enough in schools?
You say
Probably
that,
not,
Conor.
Nothing.
I don't think Giants can give away a season ticket. At the minute.
They've tried it, haven't they? Tickets were super cheap last year. I think it was
I do.
Got a ticket. It's down the road, obviously, from where we're filming.
I think that's the thing. I think that's the thing. School, rugby clubs, should and could target a lot of schools. Get that younger generation
Rugby
going
union
in.
Are in school. They're giving away tickets. They're giving out rugby balls. The tag belts, the
I think
bibs,
I think that's
everything.
the
They're
key
putting
thing,
on tournaments for schools. All this sort of stuff, and I see it firsthand. And I think what we're not seeing enough of is, and it's not just down to the rugby league club, because that builds up their fan base. But what is rugby league doing on the whole in this country? In Australia, they've got rugby balls in reception. Yeah. It's part of the curriculum, and it's been mentioned before. It's not on our PE curriculum, and neither is football and rugby union and all the rest of it. But what do we need to do as a sport? Start from the bottom, because we've lost them, haven't we? 7, 8 year old, they've got a football. Yeah, we might get a few stragglers that don't make it as a footballer. I think Lewis Martin were one, footballer class, ends up going into rugby league, ends up making it as that. But we lose so many. We've not got enough in primary school, and that's where it needs to start, in primary school. We've still got some high schools around here playing rugby union. What's that about?
Shocking.
Not good enough.
I can't stand the union as well.
There needs to be something,
but this is why it's important also, not just for the fan aspect of it, for players, because we've touched on Leigh there. Leigh have got a lot of players a lot of big names off contracts at the end of this season that can already start negotiating from December 1st. So you've got the likes of Amila Hanley, Owen Trout, and players like that.
Does that change anything, these negotiations?
I don't think it necessarily changes it. If you're Leigh, you're trying to get it done, or if you are Leigh, you're trying to get some sort of clarity, like what are you wanting to do, where you wanting to go, so we can sort of plan. And I think if you've got that open clarity with the player, then it makes you feel a little bit better. But I can definitely see Owen Trout going. I'm unsure about Amila Hanley.
There's a few players there.
I could potentially see him going as well. Yeah. There's a few players there, young enough. Owen Trout just made his debut, obviously in the Ashes.
I think he'll be on the radar now.
He's definitely. So will Amila Hanley, obviously one of, if not the best centre. So this is why we need to improve and continually improve just like I say, getting it in schools and that, get the player pool bigger.
And lastly, before we go on to our championship clubs, Catalan, we've touched on him a little bit already. Made some signings, similar to, I'm not saying similar to Castleford, because they've made some big name signings, but also just some, I suppose, maybe stalwart players and some younger lads as well that have been at other clubs. Josh Sim from Castleford, that was a surprise.
One of the fan favourites as well. Castleford, they didn't seem too impressed.
Brought Lewis Dodd back over here. He's 1 year deal. Does that mean he's going somewhere else? Warrington next year, replacing George Williams.
Warrington next year.
Suppose it's
Obviously,
fully
Mark's
nothing
needed
new,
to be
is
up
it?
as well at the end of this year. So
Yeah,
they've
so
got 2 massive spine changes.
Likely on a big money move to Warrington next year for him.
Oh, they'll be doing some gosh.
But yeah, they well underachieved last year.
Massively,
well
yeah.
underachieved. They, again, Catalan, no one likes going to Catalan, but I think most teams were fancying the
Didn't mind
chances
it,
there
yeah.
last year, weren't they?
Yeah.
They've stuck with Tompkins, Joel Tompkins.
Sam will also be in the background somewhere.
He's in the background. Michael Orham's in the background there, assistant coach. Did they do anything this year?
I think that them sort of players are going to get a tune out of the players. I think Joel Tompkins alongside probably, like I say, Sam Tompkins and Mickey McElorham, who he's got around him, they'll definitely get a tune out of the players. I think as long as them players gel, there's no reason why they can't be solidly in the top 6.
Got to be tough going there.
Yeah, like so you're talking like Toby Sexton, Lewis Dunn in the halves. You've got all these players that.
Does it matter to them? Obviously, they're a franchise club out there, which were obviously set up. They've come into it late, and it's gone really well, hasn't it? If every club, so like Toronto, could have gone like Catalan went, then we'd be laughing, wouldn't we? We'd have a team in Canada, a team in France, same for London. But Catalans seem to. We spoke about like that culture and things being built like from these players from within. They seem to have got rid of that French crop that were coming through. A few of them have left, haven't they, and gone to different clubs. But then now, have they got the next lot coming through, or is it just that team of Mavericks that's put together? They've tried it before, though, haven't they? They've had big players on big money, and it's just
that's what I mean.
Not seemed to work.
I think the best thing about this one is, like I say, you've got a lot. They've got the security in the fact. Well, not security because they haven't got any long-term security, but they've got.
Well, they haven't, have they? They've got an halfback. They've got an halfback that's going to Perth Bears before he's even played, and they've got an halfback that's rumoured to go to Warrington.
But at the same time, they've got the security. If this season doesn't go so well, they've got another changeover, which I know fans probably don't want, and I personally wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want my spine chopping and changing, but I think they've got depth there. I think the 1 to 17 that they go out there with, I think he's going to do a good job, and I think. Don't get me wrong, I don't think they'll be comfortably in the top 6, but I think they'll be fighting for it.
I don't think they do out. I think the best thing they do this year is finish above Toulouse. That's it. I just can't see them doing anything. I think they're throwing players together. Some of the signings, like you're wondering why. Like obviously there's a plausible explanation, I'm sure, but some of them are they're just head scratchers, aren't they? And then I just cannot get my head around this thing of you've got halfbacks there and they're gone before you know it. How do you plan it? Maybe it's just one of them. Maybe they get him through the season, they stick with Tompkins, and then see what comes next season.
The problem we're going to have, they've got to buy. Well, they've got to go out there and get another 6 and 7 for next year.
Yeah.
That's
which I'm sure they're looking at.
Yeah, of course, they'll have probably a few names in mind, but at the same time, it's not really what you want, is it?
Well, we'll touch on the 3 promoter clubs before we wrap up.
Huddersfield yet, by the way?
I think we spoke about them and brushed them off. To be fair.
No, but by the way, I don't think we actually did. I think we did cover a little bit.
I think we might have touched on them, mightn't we? But
what do you think about George Flanagan not getting the 1 shirt? Because I was quite disappointed. I get they've got 9 levels. I think he's on a couple-year deal, like 2.5-year deal. I think when he signed.
Yeah.
So he's got 2 years. He's got this season and next season, and then,
injured last season, an unfortunate one. He really,
really
like Helens. I think he's a good
player. To be fair, I do really like Leigh Leopards. I think he's really good.
I think he's a great player.
With all this talk that you've got over, like the quota spots going up to 10, and a lot of people say that it's blocking our youth coming through in it. I don't. When do it just get to the point where our own players are blocking youth? So I think George Flanagan is good enough to start. I think he's good enough in the long term to be England's number 1.
Yeah.
When the Giants just throw it at him and say, "Here you go." He's a goal kicker. Because I know Tuilala here can kick and kick goals, but George Flanagan is better at kicking goals. Tuilala here looks really trim, by the way, as well. He's looking really fit.
There's only Luke Robinson going to know, isn't there?
Well, yeah.
And I don't know.
And it's not set in stone that Leigh Leopards is going to start one, and like with injuries through the season, no doubts George Flanagan is going to get his opportunity, and also George can play in the halves. So if one of the halves was to go down, he could potentially slot in there. But they've also got Oliver Russell back at the club, but I just thought George Flanagan, who was a standout last year, and that's why I said the same about Harry Robertson. I just wouldn't like to see them players get overshadowed again. Just let him be free now. Just go out there and play. Sort of thing.
Was Luke Robinson, could he consider himself fortunate to still be the head coach there after last season?
I don't think so. I thought their team at some points what they were lining up with was tough. I don't think many coaches were getting a gig out of them.
Be interesting because he's had a full run, hasn't he? He's got this year, hasn't he? Really. Yeah. They've signed again. They've made some signings. They've got O'Donnell in. Like you say, George Flanagan's another year older. He comes in. I think he comes into the squad somewhere. Like you say, he's got to play. Where that is, not sure. He's a fullback, and he's got to go fullback for me. But
who?
Flanagan.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I think you've got to have him in your squad. Again, he's like the players that we touched on, like Will Price. You know what I mean? He can just get some out of nothing. He's your game changer of a player. He doesn't seem phased about coming up against the biggest and the best.
Yeah.
For me, I think, and he did.
So round one.
Yeah.
Who starts at fullback? Evans or Flanagan?
It's going to be Evans, but I think it should be John Flanagan.
I agree with that. I think with Huddersfield, I think what it is I think the reason why Luke Robinson's there is they're thinking potentially a longer term. With all the uncertainty around the stadium, obviously they're known to struggle with attendances and things like that. I think they've
got to move, haven't they?
Well,
another conversation, but they've got to move.
I don't think it's an attractive job either. So I don't want to sit here and say Luke Robinson's got the job because of.
But he's a great servant to Huddersfield, isn't he?
And he is. And to be fair, I think
his time served for an assistant as well. Done a lot of time there. Really good with the youth.
He'll know the players as well.
Yeah,
and
he's
the players will respect.
Hasn't
Yeah, the players will respect him. But I just think, is that job attractive for another head coach?
Exactly.
Possibly not. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
because there's just too much uncertainty as well. Like you mentioned.
But yeah,
one I just want to touch on before we move on from them is Tom Burgess. Big signing last year, big money. It makes you think he takes up a. John Wilkins said it early doors last year, and I get it. He's not just the only player on big money in Super League, but he's coming over with reputation.
It goes back to everything we've kind of been banging the drum about before. For me, you can sign the best players in the world. You can have a team full of superstars, but behind closed doors, if things aren't going well with the club and things are, they're not going to get them to play a fiddle. You're not going to get them to play how they need to do.
I don't know about. Obviously, I don't know Burgess personally, anything like that. But obviously, obviously he's a massive player, wasn't he, at Souths? He's been at such a probably Souths.
What a career, by the way.
He's been one of
fantastic.
He's been at one of the most prestigious clubs in the world.
You're opening a new signing under Christmas tree. Tom Burgess last year pops up.
You're buzzing.
You're buzzing.
You're
buzzing. You're forgetting rest at presents, aren't you?
Somersault trap living room or whatever. No way.
It's true, but obviously we're at a massive club in Souths, like probably one of the most.
Just his minutes for me.
Obviously when he come over to Giants, I bet he has walked in and thought, wow.
Probably that. He's probably walked in. He's probably been sold. I'm not saying dream, but again, he's local to him. He's come home. Probably in his head, it's a great fit, and to everyone else, you look at him and think, well, it actually is. He could have gone back to Bradford, but he's gone to a team that probably, let's face it, can pay his wages as well.
He's on megas. He will be on megas.
It just makes you wonder, like you say, he needs to have I think a big year, or is his contract getting cut short? Do they cut the losses?
You can't cut the losses. It's that big.
You'll have to ask him, Judd.
Ask him, David.
How much is he on, Ken? No, he's on a 3-year deal. To be fair, he's got this year. I just can't see.
It's a mega contract in it, but like you say, they cut the losses.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Does he go on loan? Does he go back to Bradford, get some match fitness? I don't know. He just didn't seem fit to me last year. And it's one of them, and like you say, he's probably come in and thought, "Whoa, what is this?"
Yeah,
it's not what
I always struggle with that because I get what fans when you go watch the game, and it looks like players that disinterest and stuff like that. But I do think it's same with Castleford. We didn't touch him, but obviously we will when we go over York. But Sam Wood, he made his debut for England, then he got made captain at Cass, and last season he just looked like a shadow of a player like we'd seen the year before, and who made his debut for England. But I just think
Another ex-Huddersfield player, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, you must just sit and think like, this is demoralising. Like, players are here, there and everywhere. Like, because to be fair, Cass going into last season, their squad numbers, everyone knew they wasn't going to do it. I didn't think they'd do that bad, but everyone knew they wasn't going to be thereabouts. So, yeah.
Possibly another tough season. That's what we're thinking.
For Giants?
Yeah.
I actually think they do all right, mate.
Yeah?
I think they finish above all. It's obviously
Championship teams.
Yeah, I think they finish above all Championship teams, and I think they do all right.
That'd be shocking if they didn't, to be fair. But I don't think that's a mega statement. But
No, it's not. No,
that's a micro-win statement.
Yeah,
I made one.
to be fair, yeah, I made it like a massive.
I know what you mean. I don't think they're as bad as last year, but
I think
they'll get a few decent wins.
They did have a lot of injuries, didn't they? So I think if they keep fit, they can.
They're not going to get in the top 6, are they? That's
no,
but they're going to be mid-table somewhere.
I think they can pick up a few wins
floating
against the big
around,
teams.
Yeah. Championship teams then. We've got Bradford, Toulouse and York all coming up. Two of those teams with that experience already in Super League, and York, obviously the newbie now. They've won the race as such, them 3 teams. To come up to Super League, Toulouse, I suppose, within their own right, you could say they earned that, 'cause obviously taking the championship as well. Last year, York, they had a really good run, probably the best team in the championship, you'd say, last year. Obviously falling at the last hurdle, but Bradford, the surprise one, we'll start with them. What do we think to Bradford?
Strange one. Strange.
Obviously, Bradford have come up, but
they're arguably
they'll get some wins this year, because no one is going to want to go to that ground. No one in February, March.
You're not back end
it. You don't want to go down there. It's an absolute mud. I went last year against. They played. It was when they knocked Castleford out early rounds. You know, the Challenge Cup.
Yeah.
And it was like a mud bath down there. It was raining. It was cold. I remember looking at the pitch.
That was a tough one. That were the start of the end for Castleford.
Yeah, they won at first game. Yeah, it was a bad one for Castleford anyway. And like everyone just looked like they were running in slow motion because the ground just looked so heavy. Yeah. It looked like they were trying to get out of quicksand. No's going to
have changed unless, I don't know, they've had some pitch revamp.
Listen, they'll have done certain bits and bats to the stadium, but yeah, it's going to be roughly the same. February and March, Bradford just need to knuckle down because I actually think they could get some wins.
Could get some wins
on
board there.
Like, it's very different going down there in summer to winter. Like, it's polar opposites.
I think they've got a few tricky games, haven't they, early doors as well. But, like you say, you could catch some teams cold, I think. I suppose main one to just mention with them is Ryan Sutton.
It's a big signing that. Yeah.
You know, Canberra, he was killing it, wasn't he? Put himself in England frame, didn't he, at that point? And then from that, goes to Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Got to be more brass, surely. Goes there. Reminded me a bit of Thompson going there and just didn't seem to sort of like...
Very similar.
Probably to what they thought they would, really. I don't think Bulldogs would say for either of them 2 players. I don't think they'd be welcome back with open arms, put them that way. Sutton's obviously had an unfortunate couple of years with injuries. I think he's played maybe less than a couple of handful of games.
10-15 games. Yeah, over the last.
You just never know, though, do you? Like some players can have a terrible run of injuries and then.
I think you always get that. I remember Kudjo at Giants. Remember when he struggled with a load of injuries?
Yeah.
And I remember I kept saying like, they just need to like sort of. I mean, it sounds bad because obviously he was a homegrown player, and some of the performance that he was there in Huddersfield's glory days as well. I just remember thinking like, he clearly can't go on for much longer. And look at him, what he did. Like I think he did another 4 or 5 years on top of that, playing back row, loose forward.
You can't write players off, can you? And like another example, Johnny Lomax. I know there were Saints fans at one point saying, he needs to go. You know, he's had his 3rd ACL reconstruction. He's injury prone, hamstrings, and all the rest of it. And look what a career he's had since then. You know, been an absolute standout. So, yeah, definitely can't be written off, I don't think. I think he's a great signing for him.
Yeah.
I think they need a few more of them. I don't think he can do it. I know they've had some full-time deals to a few other players. But, yeah, again.
Can't wait to see Rona Michael.
Yeah, I know, full-time. Shout out Rona Michael's podcast. Yeah, just... I can't see him again doing much. I think they might sneak some wins maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're up to much, especially away from home. But we could be wrong. Strange things have happened, haven't there? Toulouse, we'll touch on them. Obviously, the winners from last year.
Yeah, they haven't made many signings, which is either going to go well or not so well. I think it could go well because all the players are used to each other. And to be fair, you know what, they probably had a Super League, like a Super League level team anyway. So a few Aussies, obviously got Tyler Dupree on loan. I think their squad's there or thereabouts anyway, to be honest. So again, they might go under radar because maybe they haven't signed, sort of like 5 to 10 players, but they didn't need to. So
Dupree, that's obviously a big one. Him coming over, interesting. He's another great player, really good player, but he sort of went really well when he went to Wigan, and then sort of fallen that little bit out of favour, hasn't he? More youth comes through, pushes you aside a little bit, and I suppose it'll be interesting to see sort of he can pick that form back up. And he was another one. I think he played his way into that England sort of fold, and before you know it, he's out on his way to lose on loan. So
a bit more of a standout sort of.
We're doing good going over there. And then York, I think they're the ones they've made probably the bigger signings out of the 3 clubs. Sam Wood, like you say, they've signed that Super League experience. Vaughan, Wood.
Well, you know what you get with Paul Vaughan, don't you? Yeah, you know what you get with Paul Vaughan. Hard worker, good prop. Sam Wood, I think Mark Applegarth will probably be able to get a tune out of these sort of players like Sam Wood, and hopefully Sam Wood can go back to his sort of form at Castleford, and even before that he did really well at his time at Ulcard as well. And to be fair, we were at Giants. A lot of fans liked him down at Giants, so hopefully he can get back to there because he looked a shadow of himself last year. But yeah, I think like I said, I think all these teams, although I personally think they're going to finish bottom. Yeah, I think they are going to finish bottom. I think they are going to get the odd win, a surprising win. The one that you probably don't expect, and they could possibly catch a few teams off guard. Yeah. But
I think you just worry with these 3 teams. Are they the Super League teams?
Yeah.
Or are they a Championship team with a few Super League players?
Well,
that's the worry, I think, and the concern with them. With York, I think long term as a project, I think it's a really exciting project having them in the Super League.
Completely agree.
I think we've obviously quota spots now. I think to the Aussies, overseas players, York's a very desirable place to go and play rugby.
100%.
Like every time they come over, they're over in York, and they love that history, don't they? The culture, everything about York and that sort of old city in Britain. I think that's long term more desirable than the Bradford and the Toulouse project.
Yeah, I agree.
So long term, possibly this year, maybe possibly come too soon, but I think on that we've kind of gone in and out. Some teams a bit more than others, but instead of going through as sort of 1 to 14, I want us to go first. I'm going to go for who's finishing, since I've just discussed the Championship clubs, who's finishing bottom.
I'm going to put Bradford in there, I think.
Yeah.
Bradford bottom, yeah.
I don't want to, but I'm going to put Bradford bottom.
I'm going to go Bradford bottom as well.
Yeah.
I just, like you say, I think they might pick up some wins, but I think the squad's so light. I think if we're looking at it, that is a Championship squad with a few Super League players. We've seen some of them players in Super League before, Rockenbaugh, Wonga Blake. Yeah. I don't think they get a tune.
Still there? Is Lily still involved?
No,
he's gone.
He's just Sheffield Eagles.
Yeah. So, but they've signed some players, haven't they? They've took a few Salford lads, so Nicarima, he's gone.
I like Nicarima, to be fair. I know they've got Rome. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, innit? It's hard.
I like it. I like the idea of them being back.
I do.
It's nostalgic, innit?
Yeah, 100%.
Bradford Bulls are back in Super League.
Definitely get down to a game.
100%. And I hope they really kick on, but I think commercially they've got to really do... They've got to do a lot of work. I know they've been doing a lot in off-season around the city, but I think more needs to be done.
They've got a good fan base.
And the good thing for them, they've still got that youth set up, which I think that's what's helped them.
They've lost a lot of players over years to like your Super League team, which if they can manage to stay in Super League now for a bit,
You're going to say, you think of them players around Super League now, that were
Ollie
once upon a time.
Ollie
Matty
Wilson's
Lees.
one of them.
A lot of players there
Yeah.
that were playing at Bradford that could have quite easily then stayed there, but they've gone to other clubs. So we're all in agreement. Bradford finishing bottom, and then I'm going to go for a top 4 in order.
What should we do?
Who's your top
6?
4?
We've got
Start with a top 4. Start with a top 4.
top 4 in order.
Top 4 in order, and then we'll go to maybe a top 6.
I was going to laugh at Matt. Go on, Fletch. You can
I'll go first then. I think Wigan are going to win it this year, I think, after stuff reasons that we talked about. I think Hull KR will be number 2.
Yeah.
I then think it's going to be a Leeds Rhinos potentially. I think it's going to be a fight for second between Leeds and Hull KR. And then 4th, it's going to be St Helens, I'm going to say.
Okay. So you're going
Con's buzzing with that.
Wigan, Hull KR in top 2.
Wigan, Hull
And then
KR
Leeds
top
and
2, Leeds Saints. Yeah.
Right. So
Sorry.
they're Fletchers.
Yeah, Leeds
Yeah.
Saints 3-4. Yeah.
Shay?
I'm going to go...
Don't think too hard.
I think Wigan or Leigh leaders.
No. Just rephrase that.
We're going top 4.
Who's winning the league leaders then, if you're going top 4?
Well, yeah, that's top position, isn't it? That's first.
No, Wigan or Leigh. So you're saying them two are top 2?
Yeah, I'm going to go Leigh. Leigh, Wigan. Leigh, Wigan. Leeds, Hull KR.
Really?
So you're going Leigh, Wigan.
Leigh, Wigan.
So Leigh top.
Leigh top.
You think Leigh are going to get
Big
Leigh
statement.
leaders?
Yeah.
Just checking, not got a Leigh shirt on under there. So Leigh top,
Yeah.
Wigan second.
Yeah.
Who we got third and fourth?
Leeds.
Leeds
then
third.
KR.
KR fourth.
Really? Leigh?
Interesting.
I mean, if we get to end of the season and we're watching this back and they're
Leigh-
there, I'll be like,
they were-
I'll eat
they were-
me out, but...
No, so I predicted last season that Leigh were going to fall out of the top 6. Anyway, they proved me well wrong. they got to the semis.
Right,
but,
so Leigh are not finishing at playoffs then?
But no, they are this season. Like I say, I've predicted them to win league leaders. But this year, just the signings they've made, I think they're ready for it. I think there were a period of last season where they was second and they fluffed a few games up. They lost to there were a period of time where everyone thought Leigh were going to finish second behind KR, and they fluffed a few games up that they should have won. And they had a bit of a dip in form, but yeah, I'm happy to go with that. I think their start of the season's a bit too hectic for me.
Yeah.
For them to no over to you.
Conor.
I'll round it up then. I think
You can't say St Helens top.
Yeah, you're not saying that.
Saints first.
You really?
No, but I am putting Saints in the top 2.
Okay.
I'm going to go Wigan to finish top.
Yeah.
I think it'll be close. I don't think they'll run away with it.
Yeah.
And I do think the top 4 will be very close this year. I think
agree
it'll be
with
there
that.
and thereabouts. There might be 3 or 4 points between 4th place and 1st place. I think it might be like that year when it were Saints, Wigan, Catalan, and it were like literally up to the final day at season. I'm going to go Wigan top. I'm going to go Saints second. If you'd have asked me 6 weeks ago, would Saints finish in the top 2, I'd have said no. I just think they've made some real good recruitment in the last few weeks. And I think it's possibly changed the dynamic now.
Agree.
So I'm going to go with them in the top 2. Wigan Saints. I'm going to go Hull KR third. I think they'll, like I said, tricky starts at season. But I do think they pick it up towards sort of middle and back end of the year. I think they'll have a tricky start. I think they'll be floating about top 6 in start of season and then kind of progressively make their way into sort of the top 3. And then in 4th place, I'm going to go Leeds in 4th. I think Leeds just nip into 4th, just ahead of Leigh.
Agree. Yeah. I think Leigh just miss out, don't they? I'm of the same opinion.
And I think Warrington might be sort of just finishing that bit
Yeah.
off. So
Agree.
I think Warrington might.
That'll be a top 6.
I think Warrington.
Yeah, but who are you going 5th and 6th then? You're going Warrington.
I'm going to go Leigh, Warrington, 5th and 6th.
Me too. That's my same order as me.
I'm going Hull FC Saints. Hull FC Saints. I think Saints will get 6th.
Just have to wait and see.
I think this Paul Rowley rugby at Saints, as I'm really
it's going to go.
I am excited for it, but I just think they could have a little bit. Like everyone looks at their season last year as a bit of a failure, but I just don't think it was. Obviously, it's not a Saints year, is it? Obviously, compared to what you know. But end of the day, they're in a massive period of, like I say, these players now getting up. You know,
it's transitional.
He's obviously Knowles has left this year, which is a massive.
Walmsley and all,
these sort of players, like you lost Loomis,
Calf scars,
but like you're going through this stage now where that team was the team that year after year just kept winning your grand finals.
They were the 4-peat, wasn't it?
So So like I say, you started losing them players. I just think I just can't see. I think there's just going to be too much talent for them to. Like I say, Leeds are going to pretty consistent last season all the way through. To be fair, I know they slipped like that game against Saints. They'll be pretty unhappy about that. But I think they were pretty consistent. I think the team
had some good wins, didn't they? Like KR, obviously they did well against them, didn't they? But I don't know. Obviously, it remains to be seen. I suppose for anyone watching, leave your comments. Who's your top 4 and your bottom place team?
Might get hate for this.
Be careful.
Leigh, first place. You heard it here first.
Leigh, first
Leigh,
place.
top at table. So
I'm going. Still cut it out now, you know, before it goes out.
Honestly, I don't think that's.
I can get some AI or something.
I don't think that's a wild statement.
I think it's pretty wild.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Leigh have been up there now. 2 years on a trot. 2 years on a trot. They've got to semi-finals twice.
Yeah.
In fact, I
don't know. Maybe it's just that
Challenge Cup final winner.
Do you know what? I was going to bring Challenge Cup final, but I think everyone just throws a random team.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's one of them. You could think, they should have a good cup run. Like Wigan, they can't be going out early doors again, can they?
I'm going.
So
Catholic Challenge Cup.
Right. Just you haven't had a drink before you come on this podcast.
I'm not really going for
right, go on then, just for a bit of fun. Who's winning Challenge Cup?
Leeds.
That's a good shout, yeah.
No, I'm going
I can see Leeds winning it this year.
I think Brad Arthur just wins something before he goes.
Yeah.
I'm going Saints. No, I will go for Challenge Cup. I will say...
Do you know what?
It's a tricky one, because I can see why you've said Leeds. I can see why.
You say, I think it's more likely that Leigh could win the Challenge Cup rather than finish.
Yeah. You know, I do feel.
Can't change it now.
But, yeah. No, I'm happy with it. I'll lock it in.
Anyway,
lock it in.
Go on, Conor.
I'm going to go with Wigan. Challenge Cup.
The double.
And it's not because I don't think Wigan are anything exciting on last year. I just think, again, they've got that experience.
I think we will see an improvement on last year.
I think so. I think by their standards, they've come away with nothing, haven't they? They've come away with nothing.
Yeah.
That's not Wigan,
redemption,
is it? So, yeah. So we know who's finishing bottom.
Yep.
Shay thinks he knows who's finishing top. So Leigh are finishing top of the table. And you heard it here first. I don't think I've heard anyone else predict that. So
hey, Derek might be on board after this. Give me some.
He might be. So Derek, if you've got any free tickets for our mate Shay, he's your biggest fan.
I at least need to be there for the League Leaders Shield lift.
He could do with a Leigh shirt for next week.
Could get you in helicopter. Get you in helicopter when it arrives.
Pick up his Lamborghini. Will.
Do you remember that when it was? Yeah. When they had to turn it round.
Turn it round.
Scored at Conor. Yeah.
Let's not. That is a touchy.
Still not happy about that, are you?
Grit should have just absolutely wiped Rhino into next week.
Anyway,
we've digressed a lot today. Lots to discuss. Let us know in the comments below your thoughts for the season ahead. Want to thank Nova Coffee for sponsoring this podcast, where you can find some great coffee and a great vibe and atmosphere. So thank you, Nova Coffee. And thank you to Fletch for coming on.
Appreciate
the show for our first episode of Unfiltered Rugby League. All raw footage, no editing, ready to hit your screens. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and hype us up on YouTube as well. So until next time, thank you both.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers, lads. Thank you
very much. I'm really looking forward to my pay packet end of that, Conor. Double time.
We'll give you
too expensive.
Flat white.